Spring 1945. Germany is no longer at war. Germany no longer exists, neither as a state nor as an idea. Cities lie in ruins. Railways are torn apart. Industry is destroyed. Millions of men are dead, imprisoned, or missing. What remains can hardly be called a country. It is a territory of defeat, guilt, and survival.
May 8, 1945. The Act of Unconditional Surrender is signed. For the world, it is the end of the war. For Germans, it is the beginning of a new one, bloodless yet no less brutal. A battle for food, shelter, and the right to remain human. The streets are silent, not the silence of peace, but the silence of devastation. People are afraid to speak out loud, afraid of the future, afraid of one another.
By 1945, 70% of major cities are destroyed. Berlin is more than half annihilated. Hamburg, Dresden, Cologne turned to ash. Beneath the rubble, hundreds of thousands of bodies. They go unburied for weeks. The smell of death becomes part of everyday life. No electricity, no heating, no water. People live in basements, bunkers, collapsed buildings. An entire nation without a roof over its head.
Food reserves are exhausted. Agriculture is destroyed. Transport does not function. The official urban ration, 800 to 1,000 calories a day, sometimes less. This is slow death. People eat potato peels, nettles, animal feed, glue and leather belts. Hunger does not scream. It makes people silent and indifferent.
Children rummage through ruins searching for food and scrap metal. Many are orphans. They do not play. They work, steal, survive. 10-year-old children know how to trade a watch for bread, where to get cigarettes for the black market, how to run from patrols. Childhood in Germany in 1945 is a luxury that no longer exists.
The male population has nearly vanished, killed at the front, in Soviet, American, British captivity, disabled, mentally broken. Germany becomes a country of women and the elderly. Women take on everything, finding food, rebuilding homes, caring for children. Thus emerges the image of the Trümmerfrauen, the women of the ruins.
Nazi ideology collapses overnight, but with it collapses faith in the state, order, justice. People ask themselves a terrifying question. If we lost, does that mean everything was a lie? There is no answer. There is only survival. Nazi ideology collapses overnight, but with it collapses faith in the state, order, justice. People ask themselves a terrifying question. If we lost, does that mean everything was a lie? There is no answer. There is only survival.
Germany is occupied. Americans, Soviets, British, French. For some, liberation. For others, humiliation and fear. Especially in the East, thousands of women are subjected to violence. This will be spoken of only decades later. Victory does not look the same to everyone. 1945 is not just the end of the Third Reich, it is the end of the old Germany. Ahead lie reckoning, evasion, the Cold War, a long road to atonement. But for now, only ruins, hunger, and silence. Germany does not yet know what it will become.
It knows only one thing. To survive means to begin again from zero.
After the surrender, Germany did not receive peace. It received emptiness. There is no state anymore, no economy, no money either. The only value left is food. Everything else loses meaning.
The Allies introduce a ration card system. On paper, order. In reality, deception. Rations differ for workers, children, the elderly. But even the full ration is not enough to live on. People faint right on the streets. Death from exhaustion becomes commonplace.
The official economy is dead. The black market takes its place. Cigarettes become currency. American cigarettes, especially. For a single pack, one can obtain bread, meat, medicine, protection. Morality disappears quickly. Survival leaves no room for principles.
City dwellers go to the countryside, on foot, with carts, 50 to 100 kilometers. They carry family heirlooms, wedding rings, watches, their last valuables, and exchange them for a sack of potatoes, sometimes for refusal. The city no longer feeds a person. It kills them. A woman in 1945-1946 becomes the center of the family. She works, searches for food, protects the children, negotiates with soldiers, sometimes at the cost of her own body. Thousands of women enter forced relationships for food, safety, or the protection of their families. This will be kept silent about for decades, but it is part of the truth.
Hunger breaks the law. Theft becomes normal. Night robberies, killings over bread. There is almost no police. Courts do not function. Fear replaces justice. Typhus, tuberculosis, dysentery. No antibiotics. Hospitals in ruins. People die not from the war, but after it.
Germans do not speak of guilt, not because they do not feel it, but because they have no strength left. Everyone is occupied with one question: how do I survive until tomorrow? History is postponed, morality too. 1946 becomes the hardest year, even harder than the bombings. War kills quickly, hunger kills slowly. But it is here, amid humiliation and pain, that a new understanding of life begins. Survival is also a choice, sometimes a terrifying one.